Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Roxy and I'm back with another Roxy Diaries video. This one is actually titled Healing from the Break. This title actually comes from a very close friend of mine named Emma. Alright, me and Emma have known each other since middle school. She's a very close friend of mine. And she basically reached out to me and she wanted me to kind of talk about what I basically did to heal throughout this whole process of divorce and all of that, and basically share a part of my story. Now, if you are a returning subscriber or if you have been watching my Roxy Diaries video, you already know that I've talked about some of these things before. So some of these things that I'm about to say, I have talked about them previously before, all right? But she is starting this movement called Healing from the Break, and I'll be including her social media links so you guys can go ahead and check her out. Her story is absolutely amazing. I cannot wait for her to share that with the world. She's, I know, in the process of writing a book and all of that, but I won't tell you guys her story. That's something that she's gonna have to go ahead and tell you guys when she is ready, but her story is absolutely amazing. She is a strong woman. I absolutely admire her. Okay, she has 2 beautiful children, and that's one of the reasons why I admire her so much. Like, I know with what I went through, I didn't have to deal with you know, having kids with this person and all of that. So she had kids with this person, so I can only imagine how hard that is for people who have kids with someone to go through a divorce or a breakup or whatever it is. That like, that has to be really extremely tough. Okay, but anyways, I'm not gonna make this video too long, so I'm gonna go ahead and get right into it. So if you guys haven't seen my other Roxy Diaries videos before, as you all know or may not know, I used to be married. This was about 3 years ago. Okay, I'm gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna kind of try to wrap it up in a nutshell for you guys. But I was married, and that relationship, it actually started off really bad. It wasn't a healthy situation. Although we had our good moments, it just overall, it was not a good environment. It was not a healthy relationship at all. So there was a lot of verbal abuse involved, and then later it became physical. And that is what gave me the courage to finally leave, was when it got to the point of physically getting hit in the face and all of that. But if you guys want to hear more about that story, definitely be sure to check out my Roxy Diaries video. So that relationship, I was in that relationship since I was 18, 19, and we separated when I was like 25, divorced finally like when I was 26. So it was a good portion of my life. It was about 6 years that we spent back and forth in this relationship, and once we got married, of course, it made things a lot harder to get over it all. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and share with you guys a couple things that I did and a couple steps that you can take to actually heal through the process. All right, so I wrote some things down because I tend to forget what I'm gonna say sometimes, so forgive me. All right, but the first thing is to step 1 is to talk to someone, which I've talked about previously before. Don't hesitate to ask for help. It's okay to talk to someone about what you're feeling. You have to address those feelings and what you're, you know, experiencing. It's okay. It's completely normal. Like, a lot of people actually go through that, so you're not alone, and it's good to seek help, even if that's a close friend of yours. It's definitely okay to seek help, so don't hesitate to get that help that you're needing. It helps when you're going through the process. All right, another thing is declutter. So by declutter, I mean you need to kind of help yourself get rid of those memories by deleting, even if that means deleting pictures, videos, or going on that person's social media page. You have to declutter. You have to try to not dwell on those memories, as it will have you stuck in the past for a while. Okay, I know it's kind of hard not to do that, especially if you spent like a lot of time with this person, but you have to learn how to declutter. Okay, you have to get rid of anything that will remind you of that person. Okay, so by any means, whatever you have to do, declutter. Another thing is to keep busy, keep yourself busy. Go out with your friends, or you know, do different things that you like. Find a hobby that you like. For me personally, what I did was I worked out a lot. That was my therapy, was working out. I ended up losing a lot of weight. I was totally in shape. I was obsessed with working out. Like, that was my thing. It made me feel good about myself, to look good and so forth. So don't let yourself go. All right, find something that you love and keep busy. You have to. You can't sit around and just dwell on the past. Yeah, you do have to address those feelings in the beginning, but at some point it's okay to slowly start moving on with your life and finding different things to do to keep yourself occupied from thinking about the past. It's not going to help if you just keep dwelling on that. It's not going to help your moving forward process. Okay. Another thing is finding yourself. With that, you need to learn how to love yourself. Okay, so with me, one of the things that was big for me was I look like a totally different person compared to what I looked like a few years ago. You guys, I look like a totally different person. I finally started becoming more of myself, being comfortable in my own skin. I was in a relationship where I would get criticized if I wore lipstick, or if I wore makeup, or you know, any little thing, or even if I wore weave, I would get criticized for the smallest things, and it would really make me feel bad, and it made my self-esteem really low. I didn't feel, you know, pretty or good about myself if I did anything that I liked to do. I would get criticized and judged for that, and that was like a huge part of my whole makeover as well. Like, after my divorce, was I'm just a completely different person, you guys. I'm more open to talk about my feelings and what I went through. I'm not so how do I say, I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but I found myself. Let's just say that I found myself. I found the things that I love to do. I started doing things that I love to do. Just being more comfortable in my own skin and all of that, just being a woman, all of that, I felt beautiful. I truly started living, in a sense. Like, I truly started living and no longer having someone else basically live my life for me, if that makes any sense. Like, no longer having someone telling me what to do or how I should live my life. I was living my own life, and I found myself, and I loved myself so much more and appreciated who I was. And with that, as time goes on, you start to learn, you know, you start to take lessons. Basically, you have to take lessons from what you went through. That's another thing. So I took lessons from everything that I went through and applied them, and I learned from them, and I told myself that I would never repeat those same mistakes. Okay, so that was another thing, was just finding myself. All right, and another thing is give it time. You have to give it time. You have to give yourself time to heal, even if that takes you 5 years. So you have to give yourself as much time as you need to heal. Every person is different, so the amount of time that it may take me to get over something, it may take you longer or less. Everyone is different. For me, I would say it took me about a good 2 years to fully get over some things. Okay, so give yourself some time. It's okay. Also, another thing is, things happen for a reason. And whatever that reason is, I hope that you take and learn a lesson from that, which is what I was just talking about. You can't just blame yourself for everything that happened. Yes, it's okay to take part responsibility of what happened, but you can't just blame yourself for, you know, I know for a very long time I said I regretted, like, I should have left when I could have way early on in the relationship. I'm so mad at myself for not leaving when I could have. I was so upset with myself, you guys. Like, and I mean, I'm actually grateful and thankful that it happened like that, and I ended up being in that relationship for such a long time, because the longer the relationship was, the bigger the lesson was in the end for me. So it was a huge lesson. I mean, it hurt like hell. I'm not gonna sit up here and tell you that it didn't hurt, but it hurt like hell. But it was a huge lesson. But in the end, you guys, I promise you, that lesson will make a lot of sense. You may not understand it while you're going through it, and you don't understand why God would put you through something like that, but everything that God is putting you through is necessary. It's necessary for your testimony. It's necessary for your growth. It's necessary so that you become the person that you are destined to become. Okay, so I mean, I am so happy for the things that I went through. Maybe not at the time, but I'm happy that I went through them, because it gave me a chance to know what a bad relationship looks like, what a toxic relationship looks like, to now I'm in a relationship that's so much more healthier, and I'm experiencing true love for the first time in my whole life, you guys. I'm experiencing true love and what that means, and I'm just so thankful for that. Like I said, everything happens for a reason, okay? Let's see. The last thing I would say, well, just a couple things that I would say. One is, don't close your door to love again, okay? So don't be so close-minded to where you think that everybody's the same and that you should just be single for the rest of your life. I mean, if that's what you want to do, by all means do that, but don't be closed-minded. You just have to, like I said, learn from your past mistakes. So in the process of when you do actually start to date and things like that, that should give you the time to know what it is that you want in a person. It'll show you what, you know, what you're willing to accept and what you're not. You have to kind of like filter those things out. You have to kind of know what red flags stand out to you. You have to learn from those past mistakes that you cannot repeat some of those things again. So if that person is showing you red flags and stuff that you're just simply not comfortable with, do not settle for that. Don't settle for that. And it's okay. People may try to make you feel bad for deciding not to, you know, continue a relationship, or whatever the case may be. They may get mad at you for not continuing a relationship for whatever reason, but you know what you're not going to settle for. And if you're simply not okay with something, don't settle for that relationship. Simple. You don't owe anybody any type of explanation whatsoever. Do what is best for you, okay? And that's what I did. During my dating process, I dated some people that were just a little too similar to my ex, and like huge red flags, and I was just like, hell no, I'm sorry, but I'm just not gonna settle for this. Like, yeah, I may have feelings for you and I like you as a person, but and just because I'm single doesn't mean that I'm going to just settle to be in a relationship with you because you're the first person that actually gives me attention, or whatever the case may be. Like, no, I'm sorry. I had a vision. Okay, I had a vision of what the perfect guy would look like to me, what qualities the perfect guy would have to me, okay? And I prayed on it. I prayed on it so many times, you guys, because, I mean, some of the people that I did date, it's like they had some good qualities and they had qualities that I just was not willing to accept. And with that being said, at the end of the day, I'm so glad with the decisions that I made, because in the end, I found my Prince Charming. I found somebody who is exactly what I freaking prayed for, you guys. Like, do you understand how happy, like how, like that's a great feeling when you finally get that, okay? So yeah, that brings me to my very last point, which is don't lose faith and hope in God, okay? So don't feel like, you know, things are not going as planned or in your favor, so you're giving up hope or faith. Do not give up hope and faith. Stay consistent in your prayers. Like, if you are a believer, stay consistent in your prayers. Don't give up. Don't feel like good things will never happen to you or you'll never find that person. Your time will come. Be patient. Your time will come, I promise. Just stay consistent in your prayer life. Everything will fall into place when it's the right time. Trust me. Trust and believe me, all right? So I done been through some things that, I mean, it hurts. It does. But trust and believe, in the end, it will all make sense, okay? And it'll all come together. And don't stop praying. One of the best advice that I can give you is don't stop praying. Don't lose hope, and do not settle for something that you are not okay with. All right, do not repeat the same mistakes that you did previously in the past. All right, so once again, you guys, definitely stay tuned, because, you know, I'll be back with more videos pretty soon. But please be sure to check out my girl's page, Emma B. I'll be leaving all her social media links down in the description box below. She has a page called Healing from the Break, and she has this great movement going on, so please definitely check that out. I want to thank you guys so much for tuning in and watching. Definitely stay tuned, because I'll be back with more videos pretty soon, okay? Bye, guys.